We know where you went, you jerk. You didn't go to Italy on vacation. You went to Colombia to be with Dad. Now I understand that this was important for you to do. But do you have to kill Mom with your life in the process? Why do you insist on treating her like this? She's your mother. You are killing her. Your torture is killing her. Why? Why are you so damn selfish and bent on punishing all of us? Why are you like this? You won't be satisfied until she's dead. Is that it? We're going to the hospital. Mom has been this way from the moment she found out you were with Dad, and she can't take it anymore. Hey, Rose, replied our hero. Did you know that bumblebees, the queens, did you know that they maintain dominance over their daughters by attacking them when they try to lay their own eggs? Mary Bowen, founder of family systems theory, has something to say. Quote, there are considerable differences among people in the amount of emotional separation they achieve from their families of origin. These differences are linked to two primary variables. Number one, the degree to which a person's parents achieved emotional separation from their respective families. And two, the characteristics of a person's relationship with his parents, siblings, and other important relatives. Unquote. Differentiation is what Bowen calls the development of the self. In other words, the more differentiated a person is from their family, the more that person can remain their individual self, while at the same time being able to keep with the emotional pulse, as it were, of the rest of the family. It is a bit of a high-wire act. Differentiated individuals are not thoughtless, reactive machines that blindly go with the flow of the rest of the anxious family in its confused, annoyed, and anxious states. Instead, they take the time to think, to reflect, and to act for themselves, without giving in to their family's pressure, and are able to hold back on their own selfish urges before responding to the situation at hand. The more independent the self, the more differentiated the self, the less individuality is lost, and the more a person can enhance the lives of others by their own leadership. Differentiated family members do not try to win arguments or take sides or try to get others to come to their side. They simply say, this is me. This is what I think and what I believe. You can choose to accept it or reject it. As a concept, differentiation is a matter of recognition, of self-awareness, of having the ability to understand the impact you as a person have on the other members of your family. According to Bowen, this type of awareness is an evolutionary instinct of human life. The innate need to grow into a separate person compels us all to strive for the ability to survive, think, and feel. Every growing, exploring child across the ages has been propelled naturally towards self-awareness and individuality, a process that continues throughout the lifespan. And yet, clearly not all children in a family are able to achieve the same amount of emotional separation from their parents. Bowen argues that this is because the parent's relationship with their child is not the same. Their relationship with one child can have more attributes of separation than another child. And this can cause, for example, the first child to be more separated emotionally from their parents. The term equal but separate cannot be avoided here. Differentiated, the child is a functioning part of the family, but emotionally separate from it at the same time. So, logically it figures that when family members are poorly differentiated, the pressure to remain together does not allow room for a child to grow up with individuality. The child learns as a consequence not to respond to, say, events and crises in his or her own way, but rather to react to them the way the rest of the family does. It is a battle between low-level and high-level thinking. The executive functioning part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, where rational conscious thought takes place, now takes the back seat to the all-too-busy emotion-regulating part of the brain, the amygdala. The resulting behavior is the stuff that rebels are made of. Rebels are reactive individuals with a poorly developed self-concept, and it stems partially from being raised to be unaware of themselves, rather unsure of themselves. Their relationship with other members of the family is mostly based on their parents' projected insecurities, and this is how we come full circle with Jungian complexes. This is where and how the children internalize and develop their parents' expected anxieties, and the result is acting out, which operates as a way to reinforce and replicate mom and dad's negative internal images, attitudes, and behaviors in a vicious cycle that keeps everyone in the family trapped within the system. It is this dysfunctional emotional unseparation that keeps the family members perpetually anxious. Our hero, he wants to be a differentiated individual and to be accepted as such in the world and in his family. He is realizing that not too many people in the world are like him, not solely due to his unique past and circumstances, which are still an ever-increasing weight of shame and guilt on his shoulders, but because of the spiritual courage required to achieve his own long-awaited and deserved sense of individuality. He has noticed that, for the most part, people only allow themselves to be individuals to the extent that their family system allows them to be. Attempting to go beyond those lines makes a person defiant in the eyes of their family members, and the family can, and usually will, use methods like religious guilt, financial and emotional manipulation, threats of abandonment, passive aggressiveness, even physical abuse, in order to keep the lines of undifferentiation from being crossed. Your relatives, members of your own family, even they have betrayed you. They have raised a loud cry against you. Do not trust them, though they speak well of you. Jeremiah 12:6. The message to our hero from his mom and sisters is clear. If this is who you are, then you're not one of us. And our hero, in his searches for healing and for the truth of his life, cannot possibly expect to give up his I, his sense of self, his sense of individuality, just to restore some sense of temporary, superficial harmony back into his undifferentiated family. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon.